I'm a fully recovered attorney. So I like to say that probably got my best education in the public housing projects in Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to Brooklyn, of course. But I did go to Cornell, and I did go to Harvard Law School and graduated and became a real estate attorney at one of the big firms. They sort of beat all the fun out of real estate law. And so I did the law for a number of years, primarily in real estate. But I always knew that the law was just going to be a tool in my toolkit and not actually what I did. And so I began to take jobs that allowed me to do some law and then some business. And then eventually, probably starting fully in 2007, no more law for me. So, so I have an attorney background, real estate attorney background, but now I'm what I call a public-private partnership strategist. I would say starting my company. It is obviously a leap of faith. And actually, like all great companies, like the Hewlett-Packards of the world, we started during the recession. So to me, the greatest accomplishment is in the face of whether it's naysayers, doubts, fear, starting a company and saying that I could create something from scratch. I don't have, all of the assets that other people would have, but I believe that I can make it happen, and I'm doing that. So the company's name is Mosaic Urban Partners, and the idea behind the term Mosaic was, I guess, two things. One is my personal skill set. So I'm a former lawyer. I worked in the government for a number of years. I worked for an affordable housing developer. I'm from New York. I grew up in public housing. And so my thought was, what can I do that I can take all of those different experiences, all of those different skill sets, and apply it to transforming urban communities? And that was how the name Mosaic came about. So Mosaic really does two things, I'll say two things with a bridge in between. We do urban real estate development and then consulting for public sector clients. And the thing that bridges those two are a focus on public-private partnerships. So if you think about what it takes to redevelop an urban neighborhood, whether it's Anacostia, Petworth is being redeveloped now, even Columbia Heights. Some of the land is owned by the government. Some of the land are owned by, private sector owners, but all of the things that work in between, including the community, have to be brought together to make the changes. And so for me, I thought that sort of ability to say, well, I understand the public sector. I've worked with politicians. I understand that whole world of things that has a real effect on how things get done. So I can take a bit of urban development, work with public sector clients and help them do the things they need to do to transform urban communities. And if I can combine the two, that would be Mosaic. And so that's what we do. I want to make a difference, and I sort of want to make a difference and also do well at the same time. So, people say that all the time, but I think there's no reason why you can't integrate sort of profit and people. And so if I can transform the built space as well as transform people and sort of do well along the way, that's what I'm going to do. So that's my ultimate goal, is to kind of transform communities using real estate as the tool and just using force of will as the way to get it done. So I co-teach real estate entrepreneurship. My co-professor's name is Noah Merkham. And the idea behind the class is entrepreneurship is the noun and real estate is the adjective. And so what we mean by that is you have to understand the core components, the core skill sets of being an entrepreneur before you can understand what it means and what it takes to be a real estate entrepreneur. So we've broken up the class to say, first, let's teach you the things and let's bring in speakers. Let's teach you the skills you need to be an entrepreneur, and then let's apply those first to a real estate project context, and then secondly to the context of a real estate company. So that's the class in a nutshell. The toughest lesson I've learned is don't focus on the what as much as focusing on the when. In other words, cash flow. most people find out the hard way that you can have a great vision, a great product, a great angle, but it's not just that you have the great idea, it's when you're going to get paid for it. And I think almost all entrepreneurs overestimate how much they're going to get paid for a certain thing, and they also overestimate how quickly it'll happen. So the biggest challenge is cash flow. When are you going to get your money? Looking at your expenses, when are those expenses going to happen compared to when you actually receive the profits, get the sales of the condo, rent the apartments? Comparing those and really coming up with a business plan that just doesn't think about the idea, but thinks about the win is the biggest lesson I've learned. And we've actually added a special class on cash flow to our real estate entrepreneurship class just because of that reason. I would say if you're thinking about which real estate track you should be in, comparing, for example, development to finance or one of the other specific tracks, I would say ask yourself, am I a conductor or am I a violinist? So a real estate developer is the conductor of an orchestra. So you need a good ear, you need to understand what the violinist should be doing, what the harp should be playing, what the piano should be doing, but you actually don't probably know how to play any of those instruments. That's what a developer does. They're the ones harmonizing the music with all these technical specialists who do what they do best. If that's not the type of person you are and you actually want a deep dive expertise in a particular track, that's where I would pick finance or international. Because then if you're in the finance track, you're going to learn all the specialties. You'll be able to run the numbers yourself all of the time. You'll understand all of the terminology. You'll understand how the bank puts their package together. As a developer, you need to understand those things, but you don't necessarily need a deep dive understanding of every nuance. So you have to think about yourself as, am I a conductor? So I have a broad base of experience that I can handle all of those pieces, but I actually don't do them, versus picking a specific track where you really want to be a technical specialist. The best thing you can do to position yourself is to network. And I know people hear about networking all of the time, but the real idea is meet people, listen to people, help people, and in all return. I can look to almost every consulting project that I've ever gotten through my business, every development project that I've been able to win. They're all really tied back to people I know or people who know me, and it's all through networking. So your probably most important skill set that you should not think of a master's in real estate as just a learning of technical expertise. Get to know your classmates, get to know your professors, ask them out for coffee or lunch or breakfast. You have this chance to meet this diverse set of people who are going to spread out and start to take over the world. Be one of those people and be in their network. Whatever it is that you do well, try to get better at that. So as opposed to saying, I have this weakness and somehow I'm going to shore up this weakness and it's going to be this heavy lift. If you're already a great networker, read books on networking. If you're already a great speaker, read books on public speaking. Your best bet is to become better, if not best at, the thing that you're already naturally good at. Not trying to shore up a weakness that you might need to in a particular context. Like, for example, in real estate, you can't totally not understand finance. But if you're a great speaker and you're a great interactor with people, do that. Do more of that. Read about that. Read books about that. Read autobiographies of the folks that were great at that, and become better at the thing you're already good at.